outside, that overlap probably is going to be extended.
This is Kevin Roberts from the Heritage Foundation. And Kevin,
New England was going to win. Like, she got the Gucci play as they were when they were, milking the.
with your kids, we're praying for you.
Gotta find some guys who can play well. Points.
And they have very little litigation. Right? Yes, please.
Mr. President, I represent the 27th Congressional District, which is on the north side of the North San Fernando Valley through Santa Clarita and Lancaster and Palmdale. I just wanted to tell you a story of heroism. Yesterday, we had another big fire. We had several big fires across, and this fire was moving fast. It was moving 1,000 feet per minute. But what these heroes did, the firefighters and the sheriffs and the law enforcement officials, they mobilized 4,000 people within about 6 hours. They mobilized 20 air attack aircraft and helicopters, and they saved the city of Castaic. And so I just wanted to ask you to join us in recognizing those amazing heroes.
I love that.
I think the thing that we all, and I'm very encouraged by your words, we're all here to help the folks here.
Yep,
right?
That's right.
And your words about building quickly, building well, but building quickly is what I think we are all here to do. And I think if we can take that spirit out of today, it is really important that you and your wife are here. We can take that spirit. We're going to help these people as quickly as possible, get them back on their feet, and recreate these amazing communities that we have here.
You'll take the word spirit, such a great word, such an important word. You'll take their guts away. You'll take their spirit away if you don't give them the purpose. You're going to take their guts. They're going to say, all of a sudden they'll start looking for houses, and your whole thing is going to blow up on you. These people want to get going. This place can go quickly, but you don't want to take their spirit away, and that will take their spirit away. So you're 100% right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Make you aware of something that I know you know I think are good about it, is interest. The banks, when the insurance company gives you the check on the name of the mortgage company and you, they offer you 2% interest on that one. The treasuries are 4%. They're expanding their net interest margin on the back of stock building. Could you please, just like you talked to the CEO of Bank of America?
Okay, let's move to Shortwave real quick here. Change bands and
They're not nice. Sounds very nice.
put out the antenna here. Okay, focus here a little bit right there.
Everything is moving towards 2030. That's 5 years from now. So what are those estimates? They expect that all I get is a Granger in. Let me tell you, folks, Critter WBCQ, simulcasting tonight, 790-5130-9330. Emails open, WBCQ.com.
shortwave stations. So it's a regulatory type situation. But yeah, we are challenged with frequencies. I can guarantee that sometimes when we come off of a frequency, there's somebody following. So that's the real competition isn't so much the frequency, it's the time of the frequency as well.
Right.
And so anybody that's listened to shortwave, that I would think as a listener, that would be the challenge, is changing that station. And that's always been against the meaning of commercial broadcasting, where you grabbed the frequency, you held the frequency, you held an audience. But we move, obviously, because we're dealing with the ionosphere as well as everything else, so we have to move frequencies in time.
Do you find that that propagation has been changing with the environment and all?
Of course, our environment is called the sun.
Right.
You know, when it comes down to it, as far as what we see in the eco development in the local troposphere, the low side, we're not that influenced as I see it in propagation standards. However, the sun's been doing, some tricky things as of late. You count the sun cycles and the sunspots, and people talk about sunspots and solar flares, but we go to smiles when this starts happening. When the ionosphere starts getting dense, this mirror gives us a beautiful platform for our target audiences, to a degree. But we have found that it's the sun and its sun cycle that I don't think any of us have really ever understood completely. But people that understand the ionosphere to that level said there's a lot that goes up at 63 miles that's not influenced by our ecosystems.
Rick, you've been involved with public broadcasting for a long time, and it's information and knowledge that can't be gained overnight. What recommendation do you make to someone that is starting off in shortwave broadcasting, either in an administrative or technical level? What would you like to say to that person that would be interested in getting into shortwave broadcasting?
This is basic electronics at its max. Okay, this is where what you see on a breadboard, multiply it by 10, and you finally put your hands into the transmitter or into the technology. Yes, we have transferred a lot to digital electronics. Okay, so it stays within the realm of modernization. However, fundamentally, we transmit here at between 250,000 to 500,000 watts. Okay, and that itself will bring electronics to the forefront. And I think that it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's exciting at the same way. This is where fundamental electronics takes its root foundations. And I think that anybody that likes electronics on any factor, that there's enough diversity, adversity within this industry that you're unlimited. We're unlimited to the things you do. Today we're working on power monitoring equipment to monitor power, in the high-level sensing of costing for electricity. Tomorrow we may be working at on a resistor, that we have to build ourselves. Okay, and actually pack the graphite and everything ourselves into a resistor. So it's across the board, and that's not counting the 2,700 acres that we're sitting on with 40 antenna arrays that have to be careful. And they're majestic by nature, but very specialized.
That was Rick Williford of VOA Greenville speaking with Tim Cordray of the Teachers Corner program on WRMI. Now here's Salahuddin Dular in Bangladesh.
Dear listeners and radio hobbyists, welcome you in January.
This is the Wavescan radio show, which is also interesting because I don't think Greenville is broadcasting with 500 kilowatts anymore. I mean, I know they have a couple 500 kilowatters, but... Sorry, my glove is getting in the way there.
information about population.
WRMI. So on 590.
El carácter hospitalario, siempre y la música caribe. Hola, buenas,
Spain with a good signal. That might be Radio Armenia International there. Check if there's anything there. Another weak WRMI. We got WWV and WWVH at least. I haven't checked propagation, but propagation must not be good if things like KBS World Radio are not coming through. Let's do. NHK here. My clock is way behind, apparently. These radio clocks, that's for sure. It's 57 right now. This is 54. And, KBS World Radio South Korea isn't coming in well, so who knows how well other things are going to come in on this 16-meter bands and stuff. Hey, Mad Radio DXer. How are you from a, what's the temperature like in the UK? It's snowy out here, but around 30 degrees here, so like 35, so just like 1 or 0 degrees Celsius, I believe. Seeing if NHK will start up on 6105 here. There we go. Transmitter. Yeah, we're supposed to get some snow here tomorrow as well. Thank you. You as well.
Our English language transmission starts in 1 minute.
Well, we get KNLS via Madagascar pretty well. I need to hear their English transmissions again from Alaska. I've heard them many times, and then I gotta write to them. See if I'll get a QSL.
Hour. On the top of the world, beautiful region of the Indian Ocean. This is your new life station, bringing you the music of our time and the message of all time. Every week we may take you through Alaska, across America, and around the world. This is Lucy Branch, your host. My co-host is Rob Scobie, senior producer of English programming.
I feel like if I were locked in a room and had to sit and listen to one of the shortwave religious stations, it'd probably be KNLS. They're like the Radio Moscow of religion, at least to me. I mean, yeah, they'll have like studies now and then, but at least they have like music and other things, and they kind of like lightly put it on compared to things like Brother Stare.
This on today's news and the good news. We've been through a lot, but says it's time for us to embrace our lives. He concludes her visit with Paul Ladd on Refiner's Fire. And Paul Taylor has Creation Love.
And we'll play your favorite songs from today's best music, along with today's Christian music profile with Dale Crow, a message from God's Word, and much, much more.
This hour, you'll hear your favorites from Coldplay, Everliving, Luke Combs, Kaleo, and Tygo and Ava Max. Let's start with Benson Boone and Beautiful Things.
Oh, all that you say. Lately I've been doing better.
See if we can get a... Woo! And the radio has been kicked off the stand. Gotta adjust that here real quick. And there we go. Yikes, that's pretty loud. See if we can get a RWM here. Oh, we're an upper sideband. So go down here to lower sideband. There we go. No sound of it. Try 9997. Yeah, there it is. Well, at least I can hear something from one of the former Voice of Russia sites. So we can get the there we go. That button. Actually hear the 2.5 megahertz signal strong 24 hours a day, as well as 5 megahertz. So I'm just so close to Fort Collins. Starting the 25 meter band here. Hey, thank you. I guess speaking of Russia on Shortwave, I was actually looking at some of your videos. Just in general, I saw one of them you back in 2013 or 2012 received Radio Rossi from, I'm probably not going to pronounce it right, Novosibirsk on 171. That's pretty cool. I'd always wish I could just, like, they were still on, so I could just tune on web SDRs and just hear the different transmitters. Yeah, I guess it would always be cool to hear. I actually also found a video, I think it was also 2013 as well, from a DXer in Japan. They received the Yeltsevo signal from that island just north of the that's Russia, just north of Japan. on 279. Because I was always wondering, that must have had a clear signal in Japan when I would see it on Google Earth, and it turned out it did. I'm also specifically trying for my transmitter map thing to find some of like the Soviet transmitters that they'd have for Radio Moscow and other broadcasts. Like I believe Tula was one of them, and there's so much more. I guess in my transmitter map, I've also found some interesting things like the BBC Deutsche Welle relay in the Caribbean that was used for North America and South America. I'm assuming all the transmitters, and I think the building is not there. It's a different building, but all the antennas are still up. Something there on 11810. Yeah, I would say it's quite sad. I actually I got into long-wave listening on just web SDRs in general right after RTL went off the air, and I'd tune around, and then that's when I also found about DR on long-wave on 243, and then of course they went off the air. It's just more and more things are going off. I think the DR station on long-wave is probably the most recorded, the most long-wave recordings I have. Obviously, I've posted a bunch of mine, but there's still a bunch from like December that I've never posted. I've actually wanted to. I don't know if you'd be of any interest, but I'm sure it's probably online somewhere. But I received from one of my relatives a 1934-33 catalog of radio sets, components, and accessories, and other electrical things like lights and such like that. And I think probably just to show on a video. There's a couple of sheet schematic diagrams on building specific radios, and one of them shows stations that were logged on medium wave and long wave in the meters of various stations from that radio for the 30s, like Moscow, Hilversum, Daventry. And of course, not only that, it shows all the radio sets, and it's like, here's you can get fabulous long wave quality. And was that Arctic radar or something? Let's try the 22 meter band here. Zero, there we go. very, very quiet bands. And there's KNLS again, which even itself isn't that strong right now. Which is, I believe, usually when we hear them. Summer, they're usually not heard very well. Nor is the Spanish service of KBS World Radio on 15575 at this hour. But then that replaces for us being able to hear the English North American service of KBS World Radio on 15575 in our mornings with when propagation is good. Sometimes it's not even good during the summer and it's like barely audible. Hearing it in like almost like crystal clear audio. There's that interesting FSK or whatever that is on 13870. I always hear 15100. I guess the upside of the cold right now is I don't have to worry about being bitten by mosquitoes. I did many live streams at around this time during the summer, and since it'd be dark, all the mosquitoes would come after me. Just a mosquito magnet. So I'm on 15410. I don't have access to the database right now of the radio database. And we have an airplane going right above up there. Blinking light. Going to the second the largest airport in the world by landmass. Because I am line in sight for all those commercial airplanes flying right over me, at least planes coming from Seattle and things like that. And of course, super weak KBS World Radio there.
Your show, watch all
At WRMI.
tv.com/download.
And let's go to the 60-meter band and not turn off the radio light. That's CRI in Chinese, I believe. I've also been wondering what is the future of Moosbrunn, Austria. I mean, obviously they've been closed for 23 days now, but if they're, because I'm pretty sure they already were taking tours, so if they're gonna dismantle the rest of the antennas or keep them, or dismantle them and keep it as a museum, or keep them up and keep them as a museum or whatnot, or if they're just gonna dismantle everything and let it sit there and let the building sit there and rot. It's starting to get Radio New Zealand now, slowly. At this time of the summer, it'll be booming in on 17675. And forgot I have a light on my hat. There we go. Yeah, that doesn't really work, does it, when I'm idling on a frequency, I guess. But I guess you could see the snow and the footprints that I've put in the snow. Yeah, it is quite chilly. Ah, just been so cold recently with the snows that it hasn't melted much. It's starting to melt, but not by much. Usually we'll get some snows and it'll melt by the next day or 2 days. Something weak there. Let's try the 41 meter band. No, sorry, 49 meter band. And that's a 4. We don't want that. So this should go 5800.
What happened this time? Did you start to, dread having to go back to normal life and you considered just living out with you?
Ah. Gotta keep going up there. There we go. Change the bandwidth.
I'm sorry. If you continue to find
WWCR extremely strong.
you tend to put these down, and even if you diagram those.
I don't know.
Turn the bandwidth down here because this is where we can get some real good DX stations. Radio Martí. Yeah, we get a weak HCJB. And CFRX Toronto there. NHK Radio Japan in Japanese to Central America from Edison, France, which I'm pretty sure is just NHK Radio 1. I believe that's one of those stations from Madagascar, the religious stations. And then that is Radio Educación from Mexico. And there we go. I had a video recording actually now lost that I wanted to upload from like 2022, I think, when it was I believe it was a B season, and I'm sure you can go back, but I was so excited for that season for some reason because I was hearing an old recording of BBC signing on from Extension, and it said they were on 6005 megahertz. In that season, they chose 6005 as one of their frequencies. And I'm pretty sure it was from Extension. I believe I heard it once, but it was either the B. No, it was the A season. It was the B of that season though. So it was. So if you go back, and they haven't used that frequency since that B season. So if you can find that season where it was like a year or two ago, 6005, and go into the A season, it was I believe at 05 or 0400. BBC would sign on 6195 from Wooferton, and I would hear the Bow Bells sign on, although it'd be pretty weak because I was using a receiver that wasn't sensitive at the time. And what made it so special to me was actually the fact that I had just been listening to recordings of the Bow Bells and was like, when are they ever going to use the Bow Bells again? And then they started using the Bow Bells again, and I was like, there is no way. And I've also have uploaded a recording of not too long, I think a couple days after I first heard that, of them signing on cassette on that frequency of 6195, but the video was the strongest, but it's now lost. And won't be on for too much long, probably 10 more minutes, and then going to sign off. So let's do some medium wave DXM. But I will most likely be on tomorrow, probably at 10 MST, Mountain Standard Time, so that's 10 plus 7, that's 17 hours UTC? Yeah, 17 UTC. Potentially, most likely, but we will have to see. So we can go on medium wave here, and I have to stand back a little bit here because my camera and the screen of my phone interfere. Yeah, there we got a straight up ID there. KNX. Let's go to 540 here.
Personally do your very best to make that happen? I hope and pray you will.
And that's 560 KLZ.
Take out an opportunity, my fellow Americans, black and white, to have the rapper having some, don't panic, don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim, holler at me. Like a good neighbor, please walk in the head. Right? You can file a claim on the app or call it.
Jeez, I missed my old phone. I'd have to be this far just to have the station without interference. It's sad how much these things do. I believe according to FCC rules, it's actually technically illegal to interfere with the AM broadcast band, although that's definitely not enforced. But of course, that doesn't stop me from joking around and being like, the thing you're using is illegal.
Johnston says they've had no communication from
That's KCOL right there, which is on the south side of the street that leads you up to WWV. So it's right next to WWV, actually.
division rival, the Raiders. Our veteran.
What sets Gabriel and the Power Home team with Keller Williams
It's KHOW, Denver, KHOW.
Earn entries now.
That's KFI,
Be there on the 31st at 10
California.
p.m. for your chance to win a Lexus NX 250. New Year's gift giveaway. You get an Elite Gourmet 2.1 quart air fry.
Available. Would you recommend these
Oh, I forgot the call sign of the station, but this is in Little Rock, Arizona, I think. Or it might be called Window Rock, I don't know.
the Fires underscore how life is built for
That's a KLTT in Denver.
creation. It costs everyone to turn their hearts to God, prayer, and passion for those.
When I move it to the right area. That station under there is WSCR in Chicago. That's a KNBR 680. Actually, KNS is quite special to me. They actually replied to my I sent them a reception report via snail mail. And kind of a bummer though, because they said I forgot to provide the date, and I was like, oh, so I'm gonna have to write to them again. But they sent me just a KNX sticker in my email, but it's still pretty cool. And I don't know what that other station is. That might be KALL in Salt Lake City under there. But I believe the phone call station is WLW because of the talk. 720 WGN.
Starting core group that the Blackhawks have. Add Del Mastro to the mix, so he's coming back.
And I rarely hear it now because that Mexico station. I rarely hear Canadian stations now because there's just so many interfering stations and so many US stations. But I would get CKDM usually on 730 from Dauphin, Manitoba in Canada. It's a local station, KDFD. And that's whatever the station is in New Mexico.
California, where he'll visit wildfire.
WBBM in Chicago.
Saying he wants concessions like voter ID requirements in exchange for disaster aid. Sagar Megan, Washington.
The Senate could soon vote on whether to confirm or reject Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary. That vote.
One of my favorite local stations because they play oldies music. At least that's the format. It might not just be oldies. WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas, in Texas.
For how this thing's going to play out.
And WCCO, 830.
Leading to a healthier smile and life. Learn more at deltadentalcode.com/products.
And that's KOA on 850, the Class A Clear channel in Denver, which turned 100 on December 15th, I believe. Turned 100 years old. Local hip-hop station. So darn strong now. I don't know what happened to them. But now I can't even hear WWL in New Orleans.
One of the things they stressed was
KRV in Nebraska.
they believed that the
Lexington, Nebraska.
not simply the
And WLS in Chicago, pretty weak there.
Choice that we make, and the psalmist says, on this
Local sports station there, 950. And it used to be so strong to hear the station. Now it's like so hard to hear them because there's just this station from Mexico interfering now, and there's just all these other stations. But I used to get what's that station called? CBW in Winnipeg. So strong. And then there's just this Mexico station, other things now. Never really got good signal selling on 1000. This is a mix of other stations and a local KSIR in Brush, Colorado for me. And sometimes it used to come in as well, but not CBW, for CBC Radio 1 in Winnipeg, that's 990 that I was talking about. CBR in CBC Radio 1 in Calgary. And I don't even get Canadian stations thanks to all the US stations and the things.
I would be putting all my attention right now into freelance
KTWO in Casper, Wyoming.
because that's going to pay.
Now for Miles Goodman, who's checked into the 6'11" freshman from Seattle.
WHO, Des Moines, Iowa.
Wants the ball back, gives it up to Kern. Out to the...
A local religious station where the transmitter's not too far away from me when they're operating during the daytime. They're 50,000 watts and they're 100-something watts at night like they are right now. But they use a different transmitter, and sometimes I'll hear it and sometimes it'll just be a distorted mess like this. And then there's KNX again.
How much fun you can have with it when you're not hosting a show.
KRLD in Texas.
So it's great. Really? But he still is a genius. And you got that
1110 KFAB, which is the first station that I ever heard and discovered about AM radio DXing.
The more rounded their handwriting, the more nurturing.
So if they ever go off the air, that's going to be a loss for me because that is the first station that I ever heard. KMOX 1120, St. Louis, Missouri.
Arnado and Goldsmith last year, but I think to be fair about it, and I try to be fair on everything that I talk about it, there is just as much of there is a chance that those guys do take those steps forward. You guys can go do what you need to do.
KSL in Los Angeles, not Los Angeles, sorry, Salt Lake City, Utah, KSL. Station from Oklahoma. And that's WOAI in San Antonio, Texas. And with that, I am going to end tonight's stream with 780 WBBM. Thank you everybody for joining, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain, or 1700 UTC, that is if I'm on, but thank you all for joining.
Living in the park at Foster Avenue and Pulaski Road will be given a choice to move into a shelter